Recently, I was doing a one-to-one call with somebody who they wanted to do a YouTube channel like this, but they're a bit unsure because of the trolling they might get. And I want to talk about that a little bit and talk about who these trolls are, when you shouldn't really be concerned about them, and all that sort of good stuff. Now, trolling is relatively new, but there is a good amount of research on it. It is a predominantly male hobby to troll online, and it comes down to, and they've done a lot of research in this, certain personality traits, Machiavellianism, narcissism, psychopathic tendencies, that sort of thing. And basically what the troll is trying to do is get attention. And these are people who perhaps feel ashamed, or they have shame in their life, or they are jealous. And this is how they portray it. And what they're trying to do, especially the more narcissistic ones, is called narcissistic rage. And they try and create as much chaos as possible to feed their narcissism, because that's how they get fed. Now, it is not their fault they're narcissists. This is normally something built up through childhood or through some sort of shame that they've gone through. But it's a thing anyway. And I want to talk about who these people are and what we should do about it. Now, I'd never really come into contact with trolls until I started writing for F-Stoppers, and that's the first time I experienced it. And at first I was a bit like, oh, that's not great. And I replied to them. And obviously that's a stupid thing to do, because you're then feeding the narcissist, which helps them want to get more and more. And then I realized the better I was doing, the more trolling I got. So I now see trolling as a sign of success, which is kind of a bit sad in this world, but it is a good sign. Once you start getting trolls commenting on your work, on your YouTube videos and articles you write, that is a good sign. That means that there are people out there who see you as a threat, basically, or they're jealous of what you've achieved. I also think it's interesting, before this, there's a couple of, regular trolls that I see. I did a bit of research into who they were, and none of them have actually achieved anything. None of them have put anything out there themselves. Even when I found out who one of them actually was, they hadn't done anything really. There was no success from their end. So what we're left with here is a population of predominantly men. There's no age categories that I could find, but I sort of have my assumptions on this, who are feeling inadequate, insecure, and they're lashing out at people. And they're doing it to get a feed, and that feed is the drama they're creating. So here's the two things I'd advise with trolls. Number one, never engage them. You can shadow ban them and stuff like that. There's loads of that going on where they think they're posting, but no one else can actually see it. So just never engage them, but also see it as a sign of your success. Once you're having to deal with trolls, that is a good thing. And yes, the stuff they say could be hurtful, but to be honest, once you've done it for a while, I'd say the first 3 months of receiving trolling comments on certain websites, I found it a bit offensive. Whereas now, it's more of an empathy I have for this person, that is what they have to do in order to make themselves feel good. And I don't necessarily have any grudges against people who are trolls. It is not something that yes, it's a malicious thing, but I don't think they're doing it maliciously. They're doing it because they need a feed because of certain things that have happened in their lifetime to them. And it's something that they need to do in order to get that. And yes, they probably need help, but the problem with Machiavellianism and narcissism and psychopathic tendencies is that they don't know they need help. They think they are amazing, and it's a real problem. So first of all, don't go around challenging trolls online on behalf of other people, because one, the troll could be offended, which will trigger something else, and that could cause something to happen in their actual real life rather than their online life. And that wouldn't be something you'd want on your conscience. And also, it's feeding them, so just ignore it. Now, my advice to people who want to start YouTube videos and are worried about what people will say, just remember, I have never had a trolling comment from anybody who has anything to show. It is always blank profiles. It is always people who don't put anything out there, people who haven't achieved anything, fake names, all that sort of thing. Nobody ever comes forward as a real person with real work to show and trolls you. That just doesn't happen. So you need to sadly see it as a sign of success. The more trolling you get, the better you're doing. Anyway, I hope that helps somebody out there. And I hope it helps you understand that, trolling is just one of those things we have to deal with in the internet age, especially whilst there's such anonymity online. And, just try not to let it get you down. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.